I want to bring on our next poet, someone who, a new friend of mine that is really, really talented and just a beautiful heart. And we're looking forward to collaborating more with her and learning more of her story. But I saw her a few weeks ago and she just blew my mind. She's just a beautiful spirit. Everyone welcome Joanna Burrows, everyone.
Hello. This one on too? I need a podium. Okay. Bless you. This one's on? Okay. First, I'd like to pay homage to the natives of this land. This is called The Pause Between. I believe for the first part of my life, my existence was defined by watching my mother. End stop. My God, I was mesmerized by her graceful motions, be it stirring large wooden spoons in massive pots, storing a split-piece soup for the winter, or flipping meat in our cast iron during the summer heat. I watched every movement of her day. She would grate this easily, allow me in this way. She would cut up onions and tomatoes chunky, perfect, place the right amount of lipstick on her lips, hospital corner beds with a yellow handkerchief on her head, scrubbing, ironing all the creases out. Billie Holiday sang, "Southern breeze, bearing strange fruit." And the breeze swept in and out, and the curtains danced about, and I was amazed and obsessed like in a trance, thrilled to watch her get dressed. "I think I'll choose this one today," she smiled. She had this faith in me that was palpable from her green eyes to mine hazel. It filled up my cup, and when she wasn't looking, I would slide my tiny feet into these tan wood working heels she owned. I would stare at my reflection. Here I was, grown from this direction. One day I too would become a woman of this world, taking names and cradling babies close to my chest. My absolute favorite activity, and still to this day, is to have my mother read aloud to me. I lay in the nape of her neck and listened to her breathing in words that would fall out of her mouth with such finesse, like they were carefully picked and gathered. Every day was a harvest of books and poems and stories read to me. Sometimes it was the only method for me to get things done in my younger years. It was a dangling carrot that worked for so long. My mother not only taught me how to read, she granted me the gift of how to listen. She taught me about the pause between them. And that freedom covered me when I lay in her lap and she read Eloise's Greenfield's "Honey, I Love," and I'd shut my eyes just like the girl in the book whose afro was larger than mine. It took up the entire page, and I was relieved because I saw myself, and the words chimed, "Honey, I love a lot of things, a whole lot of things, and honey, I love you too." Pause between. A decade or so later, I was not so obsessed with watching my mother. Maybe secretly I did, but I was so blinded by rage and anger. And folks, let me tell you, the harvest was indeed over. Only rotten produce remained on my altar. It started at the age of about 16 and went to probably about 22, and I took it mostly out on her, my mother. I felt like her constant criticism, she white, would never fully understand, I ranted. I was ashamed of how I acted and behaved still to this day. That hurricane inside of me chimed louder than any chime, and it split so easily like a bruised peach of me. My life's frustrations, these stories weren't explained. The stench of Grim Reaper's breath on my neck, it tickled reverberations of death that were haunting and taunting my head. It was mirrored in Nina's scream, "Blood on the leaves, and blood at the roots." And my roots, like my hair, was dead from follicle to end, pressing and forcing it straight. Their crinkles would come back and gaff, "You can't get rid of us," they laughed. The story of 16 to 22 without a mother inviting me to tell me how and what to do. I was lost. I was unapologetically very late, like I didn't know how to leave my room most days with my head up and constantly waiting for someone to slip up, over-sexualized and always numb after 3 p.m. And I was in your face and telling you what was up and what was in. And I lived in Boulder, Colorado, and it sang a whole different racist melody, one where I was afraid to actually ride my bike down an extremely affluent and abundantly wide street. So I chopped all the straight out of my head and grew back my natural, far from dead. Only my face remained, and my anger derived from pretending to be someone I wasn't. People love to remind me, Joanna, you're still halfway too, hurry up. That means you can probably still cut it. Just make sure to curb your sentence structure. Make sure that diction is effortlessly pronounced. Be calm like the sea. I was so tired of reciting To Be or Not to Be, Shakespeare, Tolstoy, womanizing Hemingway, Miller, Kerouac, mixed with racist Twain and Poe. Their words brought up a certain kind of freedom I craved. However, it felt like my brain was expanding, but my hands were still in chains. Black bodies swaying in the southern breeze. I had to glorify these beings who never had pauses for someone like me. I was angry, angry as can be. These books that I loved, who brought me so much freedom, had turned on me. Why was I even paying for this damn degree? I charged Douglas's words, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. So I flipped on, listening. And Jane Austen and Virginia Woolf came through, and all the lives we ever lived, and all the lives are to be full of truths. The lighthouse came to save me, and I could feel my depleted and wounded cup starting to fill up, and flooded my head with Plath and Flannery and St. Edna Vincent Millay. I would be the gladdest thing under the sun. I would be 100 flowers and not pick one. The pause between the breeze and my mother's voice started to come back to me. I was looking for other versions of my mommy. Perhaps those that also looked identical to me, that freedom and soothing see-you-read words. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Oh, folks, I found it was Maya Angelou. And the advice, it is sheer good fortune to miss someone long before they leave you, by Miss Morrison. Rest in peace, our saviors. This was the nape I was looking to lay on, the cover known as Zula. And I know why the cage bird sings. It flooded the breeze and the trees chanted, you can do it, Joanna, and please, baby, call your mother. Maya and Tony and Sadie Smith and Oprah Winfrey all danced around me, gusts of wind that whispered, Jim Jordan, Andrea Lord, Sonia Sanchez, and galore. And how could I forget the moment I read For Color Girls, Miss Nachisanki Sang's words were like puzzle pieces found in between the cushion seats, a large moment of relief. And if I had a plea, it would be that one day my words of love would flow like the velvet of Zora Neale Hurston with the rhythm of Angela Davis and the charging eloquence of bell hooks. These women, these earth angels, sang me lullabies to sleep at night when I also thought the worst of thoughts. And the foot, it was Phyllis Wheatley. And the posts were Harriet Wilson. And at the head, Sojourner Truth. And they were all around me, and it was always with me. Ella singing her melody, casted in golden light over my family's upright piano. It was with me the whole time. In my parents' love, like Nina's lilac wine. In my siblings' laughter, like Billy's God Bless the Child. It was with me all the while. The support I thought I needed to find, and the woman I was waiting for was me, the divine. Yes, she lives, and even in the most challenging of times of space, she, the divine of love, will always bless us with her graces. Even when bearing the most vulnerable and necessary of tunes and pauses, be still, she writes. Peace and be still, she sings. Be still and you will know God. And Lord, it took many years to start to understand what that means. My love lies in the space between creativity, also known as freedom. Just be still and listen to the breeze. Listen to their stories. They are still alive within me. The pause between. You can live in sound you see. I open my mouth to the Lord, and I won't turn back. No, I will go. I shall go to see what the end's gonna be. The pause between. Woo!
Shall we take a breath? Take a breath after that, yeah. So, can you feel the energy? Can you feel why it's so important that artists are given a space? It's so important that visionaries have a platform.